Welcome to Comfort Habit number 2. This is Addressing Racism Part 2. So before I was interrupted and had to stop recording, somebody said that shit out loud. I was on the fact that, um, embracing my ethnic heritage and other racism and how it comes and how every ethnicity has some racist people in it. I don't give a damn who you are. I don't give a damn what your ethnic background is. I don't give a damn what your cultural background is, your cultural divide. Every ethnicity, whether you are black, white, or Asian, or whatever you want to call yourself, has racial issues and have racist people in them. Each collective group, there are white people who hate black people and Asian people. There are Asian people who hate white people and black people. There are black people who hate white people and Asian people. Anything I left out, because I'm going to say this one more time in case you was not paying attention in the first video, if you are of Mexican descent, you are Native American. And Native Americans are Asian, biologically. And that means if you go anywhere past Mexico into South America, which means Aztec, Incans, Mayans, and Amazons, guess what? Your ass is Asian. Which is why I also gave you a geology lesson in the first video that addresses racism in this world today. That didn't sound good at all. That really didn't sound good. Anyway, so I want to make this video a little bit shorter. The other video would have been longer, but I got interrupted, so I have to complete it now. So, when it comes down to racism, and what got me on this was the Hail Hitler thing that I got on my top buzz, we refuse to address racism. Now, racism in America is a hot pocket topic. Well, racism everywhere else is isolated incidences, it's isolated pockets of racism that you rarely hear about. And if it ain't racism, then it's sexism, like the Alphabet Squad. And for those who just got offended, LBGTQ. I don't know if there's any more letters. That's why I call you the Alphabet Squad. But, the thing is, in other countries, transgenderism and all the other stuff tend to be their focal point. But in America, straight up racism is like the main thing that not only won't go away, but it won't go away because we Americans, specifically, refuse to address it. Now, in other countries, like in Canada, they do kind of address it, but every time I've been to Canada, not one time have I been called a nigger, and not one time have I been called a half-breed or chief. Names that I'm not very fond of, but names I have carried with me since I could fucking understand English, which means since I could walk and talk, or better yet, since I was 5 years old and started going to school, I've carried those names. And the thing with that is, those names not just came from white people, but they came from black people. I never really had too many Asian incidences. But as far as blacks and whites, reverse racism is a thing. And a lot of that, is because a lot of people who are black don't understand that if you were born in America and you are a descendant of a slave, it's more than likely that you are a product of not only a descendant of a slave, but probably a descendant of a slave that was raped, which is why your skin tone is high yellow, which is why there's a color wheel in the black community, and the lighter your skin is, the more they think that you, in the darker brown community, think that you're better than the lighter brown community. And that's where scientifically and genetically and all the other things tend to be off base. Alright? And when things get off base and people get twisted or they get their feelings hurt or get butt hurt about it, we don't really address it, and we won't really address it. Because the one thing that divides us all is our race. Okay, the two things that really divide us all is our race and our gender. Alright? I made a whole nother video about that. If I didn't, then there's a video for me to make later tonight. But I'm pretty sure I did. But when it comes down to the racial divide, if we take two people from every country, let's redo that. If we take 4 people, let's redo that. If we take 8 people, 4 males and 4 females from every country in the world, and all of them have to be racist, and set them in a room to see what stereotypes made them racist, or what ingrown shit from their families made them racist. Because somewhere in there, you're going to find a bad experience with someone from another race that made that family become racist. That's how racism basically starts. I had a bad experience with a white person, so now I hate white people. I had a bad experience with an Asian person, so now I hate all Asian people. I had a bad experience with a black person, so now I hate all black people. Somewhere in there, you're going to find that someone in somebody's family had a bad experience with someone from a different race and raised their children and their grandchildren and so on to hate people of that race because of one bad experience with a person from that race. And as long as that happens and continues to happen and we don't address it, it will stay a problem in America and around the world. However, America is more eccentric about it. You know, America is like the hottest pot of racism that ever walked. Like I said, when I've been to Canada, I went into the Korean store. They treated me like I was Korean. Maybe they thought I was half Korean, but they treated me like I was Korean. They did not call me a half-breed. They were exceptionally polite. Not over-polite, but exceptionally polite. There's a difference. If you know Asian people, you know the difference, okay? And if I just pissed off anybody Asian, you know I'm telling the truth. Some Asians are extremely polite, and some Asians are overly polite. In fact, they're so polite that it kills them to be polite, all right? Now, as a whole, most of the Asian races are very polite and very mannerful. A lot of blacks and whites, on the other hand, are not. And I hate saying that, but hey, I'm one of the people that will give you 99.9. Yeah, you know, I've met some rude-ass black people. I've met some rude-ass white people. This is another reason why I don't eat out at restaurants, because you just don't know who's pissed off. Or maybe you look like somebody that pissed somebody off, and you came back for a second helping, so they decided to rub one off on your food. So, yeah, or they hawk one off on your food while you're not looking. Which is also, if I go out to restaurants, I generally only eat at Asian restaurants, and I generally only eat the buffet because it's right smack dead in the open. The sad news is you don't know what's going on in the back when they bring the buffet to you. See, those things are bad, but I only eat at Asian restaurants because I only trust Asians with my food. I know that sounds really fucked up, but like if I eat at a Kentucky Fried Chicken, I trust KFC with my food. I trust Chick-fil-A with my food. But I rarely eat out. You know? But if I'm going to eat out, I eat out at a place that generally serves chicken. You know? So, that being said, let me close out this racist video because clearly I'm not going to get to finish it. The thing with racism is that we, the people, blacks, white, Asians, we don't sit down and address the shit that makes us racist. We don't. We will look at a person and we won't give a damn until we see their race. And the second we see their race, and if your race is automatically, oh, I don't like that black guy, or I don't like that white guy, or I don't like that Asian guy, but I'm scared to say something to that Asian guy because he might whip my ass. I'm not going to say anything to that black guy because he will whip my ass. And on the other side of the spectrum, I'm not going to say anything to that white guy because, you know, he might get me arrested, or I'm not going to say anything to that Asian guy because he might be like Bruce Lee. He might beat the shit out of me. So, you see, those things do happen. And those things are what leads to... They should let jail off. Those things are what leads to these things. And I'm going to have to make a third part because clearly I'm not able to finish this video.